So today's episode, we're gonna go over everything that I would bring to a hot spring. So fun fact, I never grew up camping with my family. I only went camping for the first time 6 years ago on my birthday. We got an RV, went to Mammoth Lakes and spent 3 days outside. It changed my life. Just recently in the last 3 years, I got into backpacking, which is an extremely different sport. Everything you need has to be in your bag. So you can't run to your car and grab a pillow from your bed. You have to have an inflatable pillow or something that can fit in your bag. This is my go-to bag. It's a Gregory Baltoro 75-liter bag. It's big enough to get the job done. I can fit everything in here. Usually I'm the pack mule when we go on group trips. I can fit a bear canister and extra supplies in here. But if I'm going on a solo trip, this is more than enough space that I need. So I really like that. It's very easy, simple design, compartments. There's easy access to the center and easy access to the bottom, so you can pull out different things. Just makes things a lot easier when you're getting into camp and setting up camp, stuff like that. So this is my go-to bag and I really love this bag. The bottom section is separate than the main compartment. So I usually put my tent in the bottom. So when I get down to camp, I can easily grab my tent from the back. So for shelter, I use a Mountain Hardwear 2-person Mineral King tent. It's more than enough space for myself. I like how it has 2 dual doors, so you can get in on both sides instead of having a smaller 1-person tent where you have to crawl through one entryway. I don't mind carrying a little extra weight. A lot of people in backpacking think ultralight is the only way to go. I like having a little more space. I don't mind carrying a little more weight. It's kind of all your preference. Once we got the tent all set up, I usually set up the sleeping arrangements. So basic sleeping arrangements is a sleeping bag, sleeping pad, and a pillow. I use an ultra lightweight Sea to Summit insulated mummy pad. It's easy to blow up. It takes less than 2 minutes. I use the Nemo Rift sleeping bag. It goes down to 15 degrees. The special thing about this bag, unlike most mummy bags, is there's extra area in the midsection and the feet for side sleepers like myself. I love this bag because you can comfortably turn in the middle of the night and sleep on your side. So this is the difference between car camping and backpacking. Car camping, you can go grab a pillow from your bed that you threw in your car and just, grab it in your tent. Backpacking pillows are very, very, very small, very easy to use. They literally come in their own stuff sack. Pillow. I have a backpacking chair from REI, a Flex Light, super easy to put together, and it's this big. So usually when I do the hot springs, I bring in a corksicle full of water because when I get down and I set up camp, I wanna just go have a good time and I don't wanna have to go filter out water. I just wanna enjoy the time that I have down there. Usually I filter out water in the morning if I have to, but I usually bring a full corksicle full of water packed in my bag, ready to go. For cooking and for food, I usually use a jet boil system to boil water. I usually pack in dehydrated food, and for coffee in the morning. This is just the simplest way. No cleaning involved. Easy system to set up, easy system to use. Definitely recommend having a jet boil. And with the jet boil, don't forget the fuel, because that would be bad. Okay, dinner time. Backpacker's pantry. There's a lot of different dehydrated foods. I just go with some fettuccine alfredo. 10 for 10, it's bomb. So when I'm down at the hot springs and I need to filter water, I use my MSR hand pump water filter. It's really fast, easy to set up. You always want to filter water from some kind of moving source. So like the creek, hopefully a river, not from the hot springs itself unless you have to, but no, don't do that. What are hot springs without cold beer or cold beverages? I use a packable Titan handheld cooler and it can fit up to 6 tall cans and some other goodies in there as far as like a flask. Definitely have to have a flask. We fill this with Jack when it gets a little cold. We got the Jack Daniel's Seltzer. This is my go-to, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 97 calories. Shout out to Northern Pine Brewery. Gotta have some cold beer in the hot springs. These guys are opening their 2nd location in San Diego and Del Mar this summer, and we're doing a collaboration beer with them, so keep your eye out on that. Collapsible cup for coffee in the morning. Walmart, $1. Pro tip. So another thing I figured out is having a long spoon. When you're eating out of the dehydrated food bag, it's just so much more convenient than a little spork. People always get these sporks for like $1 or $2 at REI or whatever. The long spoon is where it's at. This is a pro tip. This is the pro tip. In the morning, I like to have coffee and oatmeal. I keep my oatmeal on the exterior of the cooler just to have it with everything else. On the back side of the cooler, always have some paper towels just in case. I usually bring a microfiber towel just in case to wipe things up that you need to save the paper towel for something else. And I always bring 2 trash bags. When you're packing up everything after you crush your cans, the next morning, get all your trash together, one bag might rip or tear, you want to double bag it.
How about a double bag it? I don't know where that girl been.
moving and grooving. So in the main compartment of my bag, I still have a Mountain Hardwear Puffy jacket. So in the evenings and everything, when you're chilling out, you can just throw this on as a windbreaker / this will keep you very warm. So I use an Olympia Fit microfiber backpacking towel, super lightweight. It's nice to just have. You don't necessarily need this, but again, having little luxuries that you don't mind packing an extra weight really make the trip better. So I got some camp shoes, some Sanooks. Is that how you say it? Sanooks? Sanook? I got these really cool camp shoes. I bring a pair of flip-flops. I usually bring down a speaker, portable speaker. This is the Exo Gear, completely waterproof. Battery life on this is really good. I'd love to know what you guys listen to. Download your music on Spotify. That's a pro tip before you get to the hot springs, otherwise you can't listen to anything. I'm into Loot right now a lot, and a lot of the Ghost Inside, so it kind of varies from pop EDM to hardcore. So any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. So I usually hike down to the hot springs in my bathing suit, so I only have one change of clothes for nighttime. At night, it can get cold, so I always bring a beanie, pair of underwear, thermals, camp socks, and gloves. What's behind zipper number 1? So having a portable battery charger is always key. I got some no rinse bathing wipes. This is our shower in the morning or nighttime. You just take some of these bad boys, wipe down your face, wipe down your body. Can't forget TP. This is essential for backpacking. We'll talk about that in a future segment. So after filtering water, I like to throw electrolyte tablets in. I use this brand Zim, mango passion fruit. It's good stuff. It's important to have a compact first aid kit. Hopefully you don't have to use it, but I've been on plenty of trips where people bust their knees open. It's a whole mess. So definitely have a first aid kit. I always pack some hand warmers just to have. So one of the first mistakes I ever made backpacking, I completely underestimated what I needed to pack. I brought a Costco-sized lantern that was literally this big. It took up like a quarter of my bag. You don't need a big lantern. They have these Lucy lights that are solar charged. You have your light source. It's pretty awesome. They collapse down to basically nothing, super lightweight. You need to have a headlamp. That's probably the most critical piece of gear that I use. So one of the last things I have is a toiletry bag full of everything from toothbrush, toothpaste, bug wipes, earplugs, headphones, the whole 9 yards. Anything that you need that is gonna make your trip more enjoyable. I like Q-tips, I don't know why, I just do, but anything that you need to have, it's nice to just have it in a Ziploc bag to go. So one of the last things I have is a Hydroflask. This is what you're gonna be drinking your water out of as you're hiking to and from the hot springs. Okay, so that's everything that I pack in my bag when I go to the hot springs. Hopefully these tips help you pack your bag, and see you out on the trail soon. Always make sure to leave no trace.